And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The messages of inspiration and hope is proudly brought to you today by the good guys at the 6minutewebinar.com. And with us today, you can see we got Dr. Tania Simmons, and we're so glad to have her with us today. Not only are we going to hear a little bit about her life and what she does, but ladies and gentlemen, today is the first day of her being with us as a co-host here on the E360 TV network, the show I tell you, we're just so happy to have you. Don and I are just super glad to have you here on the message of inspiration and hope.
Well, Jim, I'm excited. I'm very thankful to be here. It's an honor, and I'm excited to connect with the audience. And it's going to be a great show today. I'm so looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. We're looking forward to it. Now, also, too, I got to tell a story out of school here. We first met on the summit over in India. It was the water conservation and rainwater harvesting. And the young lady that invited me to speak there, forgive me if my voice sounds a little off today. My head's a little off too, so that kind of balances out things. In a couple of weeks, I'll be feeling better. But we both got invited to speak at Vanya Kusik's summit. And when she first contacted me, because as a speaker, my main focus is how can I make the MC, the host, whoever's putting the thing on, how can I make them look good to their audience? And because that's the job of a speaker. How can you make the host that puts it on, invited you, look good to their audience, rather than the audience sit there and say, where did you find this lunatic? And,
right.
Yeah, because she asked me, she said, would you like to be on my summit? It's water conservation and rainwater harvesting. And I thought, well, I don't know anything about that. That's outside my area of expertise. And I explained to her what I do. And I said, well, I can put on a motivational talk about neighbor helping neighbor. She says, yes, let's do it. So that's how I wound up there. And I remember, Tania, you were on that summit, and your partner, Saf Buxy, he was on that summit. And I had cut my camera off, and Tania was speaking. And I cut my camera back on, so because, she wanted all the cameras on so the people could see everyone there in the summit. And all of a sudden, and I didn't even know Tania from anybody. And she says, hi, Jim. And I go, way back. You put me right on the spot there. Yeah.
Well, Jim, it's because you were so engaged. You were there, you were present. I could tell that, as soon as your camera came on, you were very engaged, and you just had a friendly face. And so I was glad to put a shout out to you for sure.
Well, thank you. And then after hearing her talk, and we had her on she was a guest here on the TV show. And then her message was so powerful, we had to have her on our radio show. Our radio show is on the E3, is on the TogiNet radio. See, I told you I'm a little bit under the weather here mentally. So, in other words, I'm normal there, but my throat's a little off. But your future is now on TogiNet radio. We got over 6 million downloads on that, and the reason why is the same reason why our show is so popular. Our TV show is so popular around the world. Is because of the good information we put out. And if you're out there and you want to be a host, a podcaster, whatever, remember one thing: it's not about you. People don't tune in to listen to you, because if they tuned in to listen to how smart I was, this would be about a 10-second show every day. And that'd be on a good day, But Tania, if you'd be so kind as to share with folks a little bit about you, your background, and just share it with them, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to just take this opportunity to tell you and Donna, thank you, Jim, for believing in me, for seeing, me as your teammate and your team member, and inviting me on to co-host with you. I think it's an absolute honor to be on this platform. So thank you for that, Jim. and Donna, and to E360 TV as well, and
Mhm.
to the founder. Thank you for that, for sure. So I'm super excited, super stoked. And Jim, you're just hilarious, number one. So you're easy to talk to, easy to get along with, and you're just a wealth of information, a walking resource. I tell you, even though it's been a short time since we've known each
Mhm.
other, I've learned a lot from you. And
Mhm.
the 6 minute webinar, and I'm sure we'll break that down, but and Donna is a lovely lady. So,
Mhm.
such a heart of compassion and love and very genuine. So, I'm
Mhm.
excited to partner and to collaborate with you both because of that. And the lives that we're affecting. I think the
Mhm.
vision and the mission is the same.
Mhm.
Alignment is so important in what you have to do for purpose. You know, people can have potential, but they need to tap into the potential in order to bring forth true purpose. And so,
Mhm.
alignment with who you are working with, who is alongside of you, is super important. My name is Dr. Tania Simmons, and I am so excited to be with you guys today. It is an honor. And I'm from Columbus, Ohio, OHIO, Buckeyes, Buckeye Central. And of course, I was originally Roll Tide, Jim, though,
Oh,
I was from
okay.
Alabama, Bama
Mhm.
country. Yeah, but anyways, so when the Buckeyes play with Bama, that's a big issue. But
Mhm.
with me and my family, but Buckeye country currently, and I'm the founder of Healing for the Nations. We do a
Mm.
lot of humanitarian relief work. We have fed over 500 families in Pakistan. We're moving into Africa, Kenya. We were supposed to obviously go in there last month, but
Mhm.
that's been put off to the end of the summer because of lockdown and the situation there. But we bring medical relief, we bring food, and we assess the needs of the area we're going into, and then we help bring relief there for the people.
Mm.
So we do a lot of, we're moving into medical camps as well, dental, and all of that kind of
Mhm.
necessities. Especially during the pandemic, we planted water wells, started schools, and those types of things as well. So
Mhm.
exciting work. Lots of needs out there. We're moving into Nepal and Greece as well, looking to partner
Mm.
there. So that's a lot of cool things happening for the good of the people. And I have a partner, which
Oh,
he's
yeah.
also my best friend, is Dr. Saf Buxey. He oversees the UK division, and he is an addiction recovery specialist,
Mhm.
behavioral specialist as well. Amazing man. And so lots of work there. I also have a global platform, global empowerment platform called GEM, GEM. And so that's exciting. We do a lot of
Mhm.
teaching, training, educating men and women across the world in workshops, seminars, and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, I could go on, but
Yeah.
I am not. The most important thing, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of
Mhm.
three beautiful children, and
Mhm.
Hannah, Levi, and Miss Ava Grace. I'm a grandmother
Mhm.
of five little girls
Oh
who
my
are
goodness.
powerful, going to be powerful women,
Yeah.
and they're twins. I've ascended twins as well.
Mm.
So there's a lot of things going on. I'm also in
Mhm.
healthcare. I have a background in healthcare of 27 years, pursuing my family nurse practitioner and DMP as well
Mhm.
right now. And so doing lots of
Mhm.
things globally, keynote speaking, authoring,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it's for one purpose, and that's to empower people to
Mhm.
find their voice, to find the power of who they are, to understand their
Yeah.
true identity, and to live a life truly fulfilled in purpose.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really struck me and Donna because when we selected, we talked about Tanya about, hey, what about Tanya? And we both said she'd be excellent for the show. The reason why was because of the heart and the
Yeah.
fact that we had chemistry already from her being on the show with me and Donna. And
Hmm.
so, with the chemistry there and the heart being there, it was a win win situation. It was a no brainer for us, really. And the thing that I really admire about part of your story, way back when you were the ripe old age of 22, you went through a tragedy in your life, didn't you? Because there's
I did.
a lot of young people out there that, male and female, that may be going through the same type of tragedy, the loss of a loved one. Would you share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. That's absolutely the truth. I believe that the things you go through can either they have potential to either make you bitter or better. We've
Hmm.
heard that all along, and it's true. It can catapult us, and if we lean into it, it can catapult us forward into our purpose, or it can really, hinder us. And so, I think at first, I was 22. I had married my love of my, what I thought, I had known him since I was 14, and remember that young age, Jim, when you were 14. I mean, my goodness, high school sweethearts, graduated early, and I just knew he was the one. And so we married young,
Hmm.
and I never regretted that.
Hmm.
Went to college on a scholarship, full scholarship, and he had just gotten out of the military, honorable discharge, because he wanted to pursue pastoral work.
Hmm.
And so we agreed that would be the route we go. And he was doing very well in his work, career. We had just bought a new home, a new car. I mean, we were thriving.
Hmm.
And we had a youth group of 8 children. And over the course of 6 to 8 weeks, it grew to over 40 children.
Wow.
And true story. And
Hmm.
so my father, does a lot of work in that area as well. And so we would go by, pick up the children from broken homes, whether it be drug abuse, drugs or,
Hmm.
alcohol abuse or sexual abuse. And we would just love on these kids, Jim. We would just love
Hmm.
on them. I mean, here we are, two young kids ourselves. We didn't know
Yeah.
what we were doing, but just loving on kids. And word spread, you know how kids are. Let's go to the skating rink. We take them do stuff.
Hmm.
And then it's that one day, that one moment that can change your life. And if you haven't had a moment like this in your life, just live long
Hmm.
enough.
Yeah. It's
It's just
coming.
life, Jim. It's just life. Whether it be
Hmm.
financially or physically or whatever it is. And so I got a call when I was going to nursing school. I had just started nursing school. And the call was that my husband, he was 26, wonderful, like, gorgeous man, never been sick in the hospital, had had a car collision, a head on car crash. And the ironic thing was the man who had hit him, he was one of the fathers of the children in our youth group.
Hmm.
And so that made it even, just very weird. And
Yeah.
so, but the bottom line is this. Here's some key nuggets that people can take out of that. One, there will come a day, not to fear, but you need to know who you are and where you stand, right?
Hmm.
Because if your identity is based on, whether it be your relationships or whether it be your finances or whether it be whatever, those things are shifting. Those things will
Yes.
change. They have the potential to always change. So,
Hmm.
what do we do in the moment of crisis? Um, I remember my father saying, "There's going to be good to come out of this." And I think we talked about this, Jim.
Hmm.
And I
Yes.
remember
Hmm.
thinking, that is never going to happen. That is
Yeah.
just never going to happen. I mean, because
Yeah.
what I'm experiencing, it was absolute hell. It was
Hmm.
hell. It was like half your body was ripped off of you. And
Yeah.
you've been married for 50 years, Jim. I mean, you know how that is. We were married for 5. And
Hmm.
here I found myself after 3 months being a widow who was 22 years old, being able to
Hmm.
go into a room of 60, 70-year-olds and being able to relate to them. That was
Mm.
very strange on
Yeah.
my part. And so, but I also could relate to the single mothers
Hmm.
um, who, and I want to speak into the single mothers and to the
Hmm.
mothers
Sure.
who, are needing guidance and needing support and needing strength. Take it one day at a time. And there are multiple things, but my children gave me purpose. My
Hmm.
children were the ones that really ushered me forward on
Hmm.
the days that I didn't feel like going forward, to be honest.
Hmm.
And and so that was a very trying time, and people, and it ushered me into the healthcare field,
Hmm.
um, looking at people not just as diagnoses, but also understanding the power of kindness, the power of
Hmm.
compassion, which is love in action. um, Compassion equals love in action.
Hmm.
People can say they love you, but if they don't do anything behind it, those are just dead words. So
Yeah.
being able to bring that compassion and kindness and care into your everyday relationships, everyday life,
Mhm.
especially with people who've lost people through the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
We see all of that going on right now.
Hmm.
And also, maintaining a mental well-being,
Hmm.
health, your own health in the middle of everything that you're going through is important as well. So self-care
Hmm.
is important.
Oh, yeah. I was muting my mic so I could cough there, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you doing a lot of
Oh,
talking.
Jim.
With my voice, I'm gonna have to
Oh,
get out the
we
old
hope you get
cannon.
to we hope you get to feel better quick, Jim, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, I will. I'll be doing better. I was
Yeah,
telling
you will.
Tanya after the show, I'm gonna go down and get me some honey because one of my
Yes,
all-time favorites I love when I get like this. It doesn't make me get well any quicker, but it makes me feel better. So if it make me feel better, thumbs up. I'll take
absolutely.
I'll take 3 tablespoons of honey and 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and I'll put it into a cup. Get
Yes.
myself a hot toddy. And what's wild about, I guess it's about 12 years ago, I got real sick, got some kind of flu bug or whatever. And boy, that flu bug, evidently it liked me because it didn't want to leave. I mean, it just clung on to me just like like it had brass claws or something. Just didn't want to let go of me. And so I continued on taking the hot toddy, the 3 tablespoons of honey and apple cider vinegar. And what I realized was that as I
Hmm.
continued to go on with it, when I decided, well, I don't need it anymore, my
Hmm.
body actually craved it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really did.
Mhm.
We had Dr. George Grant on. He was talking about how the brain and the heart and the gut have all got to be in perfect harmony.
Mhm.
Well, I
Mhm.
figured, well, okay, I don't need that stuff tonight. I'll just, and I'm sitting there, and it's kind of like my stomach was saying, "Hey, Moron, did you forget something tonight?"
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I told you that when I had that chest,
Hmm.
the cold in my chest,
Right.
it was getting so bad. I didn't know what to do. And literally the thought came to me about garlic. And
Mm.
I did that.
Hmm.
Obviously, you want to, consult your physician and things like
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
But
Sure.
I opened up some garlic. I cut them in a couple of cloves. I smashed them so that their properties could be released. And
Hmm.
I put them in a little bit of warm water, let it soak for about 2 to 3 minutes, and I drank it
Hmm.
twice a day.
Hmm.
After the second day, my cough was completely cut. And
Hmm.
so raw honey has antibiotic properties in it.
Oh,
Garlic
yeah.
has antibiotic properties in it.
Hmm.
And so it's super important. I also take vitamin C, vitamin D, and
Hmm.
multivitamin and B
Oh, yeah.
complex. B
Oh,
complex
yeah.
is super important. Yep.
Yeah, because vitamin D, that is the great vitamin that's the foundation of your immune system.
Yes.
And I take about well, today I took three, which is 10,000 units.
Mm-hmm.
I use or whatever, and Dr. George Grant, we had him. He's no relation to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was teasing him. I said, if we were related, I'd be mad at you. I said, not only did you get the good looks, you got the brains too. I mean, what did I get? a dynamic charm and personality. Well, thank you very much.
Do you know what, Jim? Here's a little
Mm,
fact. I don't know if any you guys out there know, but I'm
okay.
sure there is a high percentage of people being vitamin D deficient.
Oh,
More
yeah.
than half of the population are vitamin D deficient within the
Hmm.
USA.
Yeah.
And so, especially when COVID and the pandemic, where we
Hmm.
were locked down in our houses, obviously we didn't get access to much sunlight.
Hmm.
So that decreased our vitamin D as well.
Yeah.
So here we're going. And we also know that per clinical studies, it shows that people who have vitamin D levels of 80, therapeutic 80, or greater, obviously you want them at least 80 in your blood, vitamin D
Hmm.
within your blood. Um, it shows that there is less of a risk if the patient gets COVID, that they
Hmm.
are then put on a ventilator just for
Yeah.
having vitamin
Mhm.
D levels therapeutic within their blood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing what. And so I was teasing the girls. I was teasing Donna and Tanya today. I said, don't worry. I might be a little sick, but I'm getting herbed up today.
I'm
And
telling you, you're amazing. You're doing really well, and I think you're looking great. So keep up the good work on those herbs for
oh,
sure.
okay. All right. Yeah. You got a little herbed up too if you think I look great then.
I
But
drink green tea. I
oh,
love
yeah.
green tea. I love green
That's a good
tea.
one. Yeah.
That's another good thing that we
Mhm.
can do to keep
Yeah.
ourselves healthy, our immune
Mhm.
system strong, decrease
Mhm.
our sugar intake, of course.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
green
yeah.
tea is
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah.
Mhm.
I got a mic here that's got a mind of its own, and it don't mind half the time. So if I move or touch it, it it literally goes haywire. So anyway, we're gonna take a break here in a few minutes for a commercial break, and I'm going to get
All
this mic rewired here so I will sound better. I don't know if I'll look any better, but hopefully I'll sound better. But ladies and gentlemen, when technology is great until it isn't.
Yes, that's so
But one
true.
of our good friends here, one of our very dear friends here at the E360 TV network and with us is Angel Marie Monticelli. She's a fantastic lady. She's a fantastic energizer for an event. She is just great. And I'll share a little bit more about her once we come back. We'll be right back right after this brief message.
Hi, I'm Angel Marie Monticelli with Angel Marie Shines. And I had the pleasure, the honor to go through training for the 6-minute webinar. Oh my gosh, this webinar and how it's structured and how they teach it. Thank you, Speakers Pathway Coalition. Thank you, Don McGrath and the whole team for the 6-minute webinar, because you made it so simple, easy. And the way you lined it out with the outline, I can reproduce it and reproduce it.
God,
and I'm already getting the engagement. I'm getting
Hello?
people
Can you
that are
hear
coming
me?
back that are saying, oh, I
Can you hear me,
love
Jim?
this webinar that's so short, so to the point, and I love your products and what I'm selling, but then what I'm
Hot dogs and
also
Coke.
the
Hot dogs and
services
Coke.
that I provide. Any of this, I have the brainwaves. Thank you so much
Hopefully no one can
to the
see
whole
me.
team, because the 6-minute wewebinar
Oh my God.
totally rocks.
Just
Thank
a
you.
joke. That is a joke. Okay, tell me when we're going back on. My act professional. Just kidding. Oh, God.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Tanya just had a shot of happiness there, and that's why she's all giggly and all. We're so glad
It's
that you're back.
good. Good to be happy.
I got to tell you a story out of school about Angel Marie Monticelli. The first time I met her, we had put on an event up there in Colorado Springs in January 2019 called the Pathway for Vets.
Mm.
And Don McGrath, he was putting things together and all that. And he says, hey, Jim. I said, yeah. He said, you're going to be the MC. Oh, okay, I do that. So anyway, I really enjoyed it, and it was a wonderful time. We were able to accomplish one wonderful thing up there, and if this is all we did, we were overpaid and super blessed. we were able to take a young man who was a veteran,
Mm.
who was hooked on meth,
Yep.
sleeping under a bridge in January in Colorado Springs. And you can imagine, if you know anything about Colorado, how cold and miserable that is.
Mhm.
We were able to introduce him to a doctor there who was also former military there in Colorado Springs, who dealt with, drug issues and things like that, especially with veterans, him and his wife. And he was able to get the young man off of drugs, and he was able to find a job and move into an apartment and no longer be homeless. So in that regard, ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
we were grossly overpaid. But Angel Marie Monticelli, she got up there in the afternoon and she started, with her her high energy, her shine on movement, okay?
Mhm.
And I was looking around, and of course, I was trying to figure out when I go this way and it's kind of like the disco, disco here and disco there, and you're trying to catch up, you know. And then I made my mistake. I looked over at Bill Heinrich, and I did a double take, and I got the giggles. And of course, when I got the giggles, game over. I might as well just sit down or go home. I can't, get in step with everybody else.
Mhm.
Because Bill was doing something. It looked like a cross between the Watusi and the Boogaloo. it just hit my funny bone. I was down for the count. But my point being, Angel Marie Monticelli got these people fired up. She's real good on physical stages. She's excellent on the virtual stage like this.
Mm.
And I'm standing there and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I gotta follow her. I'm the MC.
Yeah.
Is there a bowl of Wheaties around here somewhere? But she was that good. I mean, she's that energetic, and so I had to pick up and flow right in there. But Angel Marie, if you're listening, thank you very much. I always give you
Yes, for
shout outs
sure.
and all that because you're a sweet, sweet lady, very good friend of ours. We've known each other for many years now, and
It's wonderful.
it's an honor to
Yeah.
have family like that. And that's the way that Donna and I feel about you, Tanya. You're family. You fit in, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I agree.
And and we got your buddy Saf, your business partner, your best friend involved with the 6-minute webinar. And I'll tell you
Yes.
right now, ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful 6-minute webinar I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
Saf smacked that thing out of the park. I'm talking Yellowstone, okay?
He did.
And
his work is so powerful anyways.
Mhm.
And because he comes from a place of credibility because of his
Oh, yeah.
experience. The
Mhm.
things that he's been through, the things he's lived through. He's not just he is a true overcomer, a survivor.
Mhm.
And he's a thriver. Like he's thriving and in where he's at and his wholeness and his journey. And it's his heart because he has such a compassionate heart to give back and to
Oh,
pour
yeah.
into other people that are going through those situations. A real champion for people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The thing that I really, I met Saf there. I believe you spoke on Saturday and he spoke on Sunday at the summit.
Mm-hmm.
And that it was talking about the summit there in India for the water conservation and rainwater harvesting. And I was just supposed to speak on Saturday. And then Vanya contacted me Sunday morning and says, hey, Jim, would you be back on? Can I get you back on again today? And I go like, well, okay. I just sent her an email, a message back on Messenger. And I said, well, I'm out of makeup. My hair is a mess, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah.
And the reason I said that to her, because I know what it's like to be an event coordinator. I know what it's like to be an MC. I know all the stress that you're going through. And sometimes you just need someone to give you a reason to laugh.
Yeah.
And say, that was funny. I said, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be there. And that's where I met Saf. And, but when he went through his 6-minute webinar, I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, Saf Bucksey, that guy, you could tell he was coming straight from the heart. There's no holes in him anywhere. He's heads up. He's straightforward. He reaches out and he just put his heart right into that 6-minute webinar. And when he read it, holy smokes.
It's powerful.
That thing was, yeah. I mean, for this to be his first one, oh boy, times he does 10 or 11 or 12 of them, he's going to be, they'll be wanting to book this guy, you know?
Yeah.
But,
yeah. It was powerful. And the tool itself, the 6-minute webinar. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone and everyone, I feel like everyone could, you know, whether they're in business and entrepreneurship and coaching, you know, we're in coaching as well, you know, and mentoring and mentorship and empowerment. And I mean, it can be used for so many things, but I think it's a very, very powerful tool to bring clarity of purpose, to bring clarity of message forth. And, you know, if anyone's interested, I think they should definitely contact you, Jim, because it is very powerful. It is.
Well, what we can do here,
loved
ladies.
Loved it.
Yeah. What we can do here, ladies and gentlemen, you see that link there, accb.me. That's Alpha Charlie Charlie Bravo Mike Echo for you military folks that like the phonetic alphabet. You go there, you put in your name and your email address, no credit card needed. No future, you know, hey, you tried that. Would you like to buy this? You know, we don't play that game.
Right.
Bill Heinrich and Don McGrath and I, we own the 6-minute webinar. So, you know, you're getting it straight from one of the owners. But you will be able to fill out ScriptPal and fill out the 12 sections, 40 questions. And then when you put your email address in there and you send it forward, it takes about a minute and you will actually get your 6-minute webinar in your email box. Plus, there is a video on each block of instruction from Bill and Don explaining what the focal point is for you. So what I'm suggesting to you, and I highly encourage you to do it, is go to just Google accb.me and try it out. And you got 7 days. If you don't like it, no harm, no foul. It won't cost you a penny. But I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, that 6-minute webinar puts every other marketing tool I've ever seen to shame.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. I paid over a couple of $1,000s for help in that regard. And when I did that, when Don McGrath, he walked me through that 6-minute webinar, Jim, afterwards, I was thinking, while I was going through it, I was like, what is this really? You know, like I was just kind of wondering what this was. But then when it all came together and he sent me the script, once I answered the questions, it just made, I mean, it was so powerful and it brought my message forward and very clear and concise wording. I mean, it's a powerful thing and I'm using it today. So I'm very grateful. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, when
I've got a couple of people from that, by the way. So that's a really cool thing. Yeah, absolutely.
I got to tell you a story out of school, how all that came about. The 6-minute webinar was birthed because I goofed up. Okay. Excuse me. We were going to we put on an event in Phoenix, and this was in 2019. Yeah, 2019. It was in October. And I was dealing with some guys that belong to the same organization I belong to. I'm a lifetime member, and I'll leave it at that. And normally guys in that capacity, if they tell you something, you can trust them. And so I said, you know, he's going to get the word out. We're expecting 40 or 50 people. We didn't want 300 people in there because we're doing some specialized training. Okay. And one thing that I asked him, I forget what the question was, but his answer was no problem. And that always registers a red flag with me, because every time I've ever heard a guy, not you ladies, but you men out there, you know, no problem. You know, well, I'll tell you right now, that problem's coming down the track. It's doing 90 miles an hour and it's got your name on it. Okay.
Yeah.
We show up there. We got people, Stephanie Dwayne came in from Florida. So did Dr. Sonny Jackson. Preston came in from Canada. We got people coming in from all over.
Yeah.
12 people showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at me like, where's everybody? And the guy who was supposed, Mr. No Problem, it's a good thing he probably wouldn't, he didn't show up. Okay. Probably a good thing too. Cause
Oh, no.
yeah, he was supposed to
Oh,
provide the projector.
no.
He was supposed to provide the screen. None of that stuff was there. So it was a
Oh.
total disaster. So what
Oh,
we did from
no.
that, and I share this with you, whenever you run into a train wreck like that, and I should have double checked him, but I trusted the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it's, hey, I made a mistake, so I owned it. Just like I'm
Yeah.
telling the folks all over the world here, I made a big time mistake. Okay.
Sure, sure. And we all do. We all do.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah.
all have
So,
those learning moments in
yeah.
business and life.
I must,
That's for sure.
on those days when I make big mistakes like that, if I was out directing a 1-car funeral, I'd probably send it to the river instead of the cemetery. I'm true to my school in that regard. When I'm on, I'm on, and when I'm off, I'm way off.
Right.
But anyway, we decided to put on some 6-minute talks.
Yeah, right.
And Don said, let's just do some 6-minute talks, because we taught people how to get up on stage. Because Don and I we had spent a lot of money. When I say a lot of money, $70,000 to $75,000 I personally spent. Don spent over $100,000 acquiring all this knowledge that we brought together, and we put, in all of our training. That's a lot of money. Okay.
It is, absolutely.
And so we were teaching them how to, come step into the light, be on stage, and make sure if someone's going to introduce you on stage, you ask the person, do you want a handshake? You want to do a half hug or anything like that? Because some people, don't even think about that.
That's right.
And especially if you're a guy and there's a lady introducing you, you better make sure you asked her, hey, because she may not want to play touchy-feely with you, okay?
Right, absolutely.
And because if you close in on her space and you're trying to give her a semi-hug because you're a great guy and she backs up, you've already lost the war. You might as well go home.
Yeah.
Because you've made it's a very awkward situation. It's got to be smooth, and you step into the light, because they'll step back and you step right in. We were teaching them all these things. And Don said, let's just do a 6-minute talk. And I says, okay. And I says, I'm thinking, how's that going to work? Because we want them to have an opening, a body, and a close, all in 6 minutes. Get it condensed, get it right.
Yeah.
Stephanie Dwayne, the lady from Florida, one of the ladies from Florida, she's a licensed clinical hypnotist.
Oh my goodness.
She told us, I call this my ATM machine.
Wow.
Now this shows you how smart that I am. And she mentioned to Don, and it went over his head too, like a 747 at 40,000 feet. We didn't even know it was up there. And she said, she went back, and of course, being a clinical hypnotist, she applied what we taught. Okay, if she's going to talk about weight loss, she's going to talk about weight loss. If she's going to talk about quit smoking, she's going to talk about quit smoking. If it's dealing with anxiety, it's going to be about anxiety. And she has said during my 6-minute talk here on my presentation, whatever she said, I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can lose weight.
Wow.
Well, right there, people who are interested in losing weight, okay, I'll listen to this lady. And people who are not interested in losing weight, well, good marketing does, the first thing it's supposed to do is repel everybody you can't help.
Yeah, that's good, Jim.
Because they'll waste your time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're giving away freebies. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What else you got there is free? I might be interested. I could probably use that,
Yep.
And that's when you practice your broken Spanish on. You just simply say, el mucho, el adioso. We'll see you later. Because these people will nickel and dime you to death on your time. They want everything free. They're tire kickers. You can't help them because they're not wanting to invest in themselves. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Right.
I'm not trying to be cruel, but you ever known anybody build a business with no money? It doesn't happen.
No, that does not happen.
Can you open up your business, have the lights on, and not pay the power bill? If you figure that one out, let me know. But my point being is that she came back to us and says, hey, why don't you guys gonna put on that 6-minute talk again? That training was fantastic. I call it my ATM machine, because she says the first time I tried it, I made, it was either 2 or 3 sales, I don't recall, but one lady came up to her and says, "Hey, who is your speaking coach?
Mm.
I want to talk to them," because it was so focused.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic got going, and then we started the message of inspiration, hope, and support originally on Zoom and Facebook Live because we were all in shutdown.
Yeah.
You know, and that started back in March of 2020. And that's how this show evolved from Zoom, Facebook Live, you know, to being on E360 TV. We were actually invited to come here. And it's just following the energy. Yeah. And the reason I share that with you is that, number one, when something bad happens, that's my little kitty playing with my thing.
Yeah.
You may hear that clicking.
Aw.
But if I can get her here in a minute, I will. Yeah, I
Aw.
hear you. But whenever something goes bad, own it. Just say I made a
Yeah.
mistake, you know, and
Yeah.
then look for ways to make, you know, how can you, you know, turn this bad situation to a good situation, good quality training. And now we're sitting here at the 6-minute webinar, and right now you have the prerogative to click on that link, ACCB.me. You can test drive all that money, all that hard work, all that embarrassment that created the 6-minute webinar.
People don't want to miss this. They do not
That's
want
right.
to miss this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Click click on it and get started because it's a powerful, powerful tool. Absolutely.
It really
and
is.
I love what you just said. If I could just say something right
Sure.
here. I love what you said, Jim, where you said, in the midst of everything, you know, obviously if things go wrong, own it. If you know, take responsibility, be accountable, great leadership advice. The one thing that popped in my head when you were talking about that was this, to just give to the audience here, is that you can learn in any situation, whether it be negative or good, a situation. You can learn what to do and you can learn what not to do. I used to tell my students when I was a professor, you know, learn from any situation you're in. Glean those nuggets from the mentors and the, you know, the people around you that know more than you. And this is a great opportunity for people who are just launching their business, or for people who've been in business and they're needing direction, they're needing wisdom, they're needing a little more, you know, kind of like a little push forward. This is a great opportunity. You don't want to miss the opportunity because opportunities may not come around twice. So when the opportunity prevails and prevents, you know, and obviously is in front of you, you need to take that opportunity. So click on that, put in the information that Jim's put up. It's right there, 6-minute webinar, www.accb.me. Click on that. You get a 7-day free trial, and it's well worth it. Absolutely well worth it. So, yeah, it's a great tool. So
anyway,
absolutely.
I want to share also about Mr. Bill Heinrich out there. I've talked about Bill. Bill was there, and of course, you know, we got this big problem. We're supposed to have 40, 50 people, and we got about 12, you know, including us, you know. Might have been 13, I recall now. But anyway, Bill says, "Hey, this is perfect. No problem." Because Bill's attitude is, no matter what's going on in your life right now, you're in the perfect place for you. And Bill's got a free ebook there you can get, and it's called Clarity Has No Story, for your free book on clarity, because that's where everything starts in to live a successful life. Regardless, I'm not talking about money necessarily, but to be successful, you got to be clear on everything. You got to have a strong anchor when the winds of adversity blow.
Yes.
And just go to myfreebook.me, and you can download it. It's a PDF file that comes right into your inbox, and it's a free gift from Bill through our show to you. And because we're all about clarity, because Bill, when he said that, he says, "Hey, this is perfect." And since I was the guy that goofed up, I'm looking at him. "Okay, tell me more. I like what you're saying. Come on." You know, I could take a whole bushel full of that, you know. I'm like an old mare looking at a bushel of green oats, fresh green oats. I can eat a lot of that, you know.
Which goes back, Jim, to the statement of, if you're in a bad situation or something bad happens or adversity comes, there's some good that will come out of it. There can be a turnaround. There can be a turnaround in the situation if you just see where the good is in that situation. Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
know, like we were talking, Mike, when, I experienced that loss and tragedy, great things have come from that, whereas I can help other people through
Oh,
similar
yeah.
situations. I've talked into multiple thousands of women's lives and men who have grieved, loss, makes you more compassionate, empathetic. I mean, I could go on and on.
Sure, sure.
Not that I celebrate that event, but I can see the good that is accomplished, in and through that. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
definitely brings fortitude. My point being is that you were saying it was a really rough situation where there's 12 people. But if you could see from a different lens, your perspective shifted and you could see the good that could come out of it.
Yeah. Little did we know that was sometimes the master plan of men goes by the wayside. And there's a higher calling that says, okay, Jim don't mind if if he's the fall guy today, and everybody looks at him like he's a dumb bunny. He can handle it. He can handle it,
That's funny.
But yeah,
That's
and
funny.
just send Jim, man, no problem. He's yeah, he's got
Sometimes
egg dripping
we
on.
feel
Yeah.
that way.
Oh yeah, and where is everybody? I don't know. They said they'd be here.
I know. That's
It's
the
kind
worst
of
feeling. I've been
yeah.
in
It's kind of like one night out in Arizona many, many years ago. When it rains, all the bugs come out, and are around the street light, and you see these hundreds, and it looks like thousands, just a gray swarm of bugs.
Yeah.
And then a couple of nights later, there was only one little bug circling this light, and I laughed and I said, he probably thinking, I wonder where everybody is. I thought they said they'd be here tonight.
Right. Kind of like that similar situation.
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened? So there was 12 people, and then you put on the 6-minute webinar. And
we put on 6-minute training. We did all kind of training. We provide value, and everybody had a wonderful time. I guess in reality, everybody was kind of glad that there weren't more people there, because that would have cut in on the quality individual training.
Right.
And because we were going to really serve up a lot of good food there, as far as training, and we did. And everybody had a wonderful time, and everyone that's there, they have embraced the 6-minute webinar because of that original 6-minute talk that Don came up with. Don made the suggestion to me. And of course, when he made a suggestion to me, since it's my goof up, what am I going to say? Okay, that sounds good. And that's exactly how it happened, ladies and gentlemen. It was that talk about humble beginnings. I mean, it's kind of like a buddy of mine said one time. He says, I sure am glad humble pie is not fattening, because as much as I had to eat in my life, I'd probably be as big as a barn.
Yeah, but I know, but that goes back to, here's the thing. You don't know where the opportunity is going to take you. You have to show up in order to go up. And so the people that were there that showed up, I'm sure their businesses are thriving. They're doing very well from what I heard. Yes.
Every one of them.
So if you really want to launch successfully into business, or you need to pivot right now during this pandemic, and people have suffered through this. Some people, businesses that were mortar, they are going into they've been launching in the digital space. Young people, they're learning entrepreneurship. Millennials, they have tons of ideas that are out of the box. So this 6-minute webinar, I mean, it's a powerful tool, and it's definitely out of the box thinking. And so but you need to learn how to seize opportunities that come before you. Seize the opportunity, and maybe everything's not for you, which is fine. But those things that are for you, you need to seize, and then you need to implement and execute, and do it well. And like you said, I mean, you never know where that can lead you to. One opportunity leads to the next, and so that's quite exciting.
Yeah, when we left Phoenix there, because all of the people there that came, they had a wonderful time, good training, and all that. And I left there with a satisfied mind, because, oh, we got a shout out there from Donna Guimwa. She says, Jim and Tanya, you are awesome. Well, thank you very
Oh,
much.
hi, Donna.
And Donna, you're not too bad
Aw.
yourself, girl.
I'm
but
gonna
but
blow her kisses.
oh, okay. I'll
Thanks,
duck.
Donna.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'll duck.
But sincerely, I left there in Phoenix after we put on that great individualized training, and I had a satisfied mind because
Yeah.
I knew the ones that came, they left with a tremendous amount of value.
Yeah, and that's what it's
And
about.
yeah, but little did we know that this thing was the training ground that was going to propel us
That's it.
to
That's it.
the next level.
That's
And
it.
then whenever Stephanie says, "Hey, I call this my personal ATM machine. We're going to do some more of that 6-minute talks."
That's it.
And we didn't get it. We had to have the pandemic, thrown down on us too. Especially me. Must be because I'm slow in between the ears and a little whatever, hard headed. But the pandemic and the way that we migrated by inviting speakers, and we realized a lot of the speakers needed polish because they just, if you're out there and you're a speaker and you say, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a best-selling author, stop it.
Right.
Because after 4 or 5 speakers say that, you're just
Right.
telling them I'm not any better than the rest of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But with that 6-minute webinar, you start out and you say, during my presentation today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share with you 3 proven ways that you can get your business off the ground.
Absolutely.
Now you're singing their song.
That's
It's
right.
not about you. It's about them.
That's right. I love that, Jim. And not only that, but I feel like, I think people during this time have had to make those shifts, those mindset shifts. And we've learned so much through this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's been a hard time at different moments, right? Of course, no one's denying that. But through pain and through adversity comes great purpose if potential is tapped into, right? And so we see where, we see new innovative thought, we see new virtual platforms being created, such as this one. We see inspiration, messages of hope coming forth to help multiple people, adding value in multiple ways. We see your vision coming forth in such powerful ways. And how did you do that, Jim? You took one step at a time, you moved it forward, and you had belief in yourself that you could do it. Yes, there's been adversities, but you embrace those adversities, you overcome. So there's these life lessons that we're learning in the midst of all of this as well, that people, I feel like growth is every day, is consistent. It's about being vulnerable, authentic, transparent. And I know we've talked about this, Jim, multiple times. It's not about being perfect. No one's perfect. It's about progression. It's about moving it forward. And whether that's one step at a time, whether it's doing the 6-minute webinar, and moving it forward, but every day walking in that vision and that purpose of what you see and moving it forward, one step at a time. So, and you're
You're
going to
absolutely
fail.
correct.
You're going to fall flat on your face at times. And that's okay. And that's okay too, because we can learn through failure. We can learn through those moments as well.
Yeah.
So, it's a win-win either way.
Yeah, because people learn from failure. If you fail and you learn from that, you're blessed.
That's
you
right.
really are, because it makes you
That's right.
stronger.
It does, but boy, it kind of hurts going through it.
Oh, that's no fun. I can tell you that.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
Oh God, me
But
too.
yeah, it's really amazing because, in life, the thing that we're really here to is to be able to use our gifts and our talents to reach out and touch others and help others.
That's right.
And I tell people all the time that sometimes I'll send out a text message to some of my friends or something like that. I remember Sony Jackson, she sent a reply, and the one little, it was a text message to her phone. And I said, just thank you for being you. you know.
Yeah. Yep.
And it really means a lot to people, especially you might be the only person that says, I hope you're having a good day.
Come on, Jim. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And, whenever you do that, it's kind of like if you notice when you walk into a store and you meet a stranger coming out and you smile, good morning, or something like that. That's who I am. That's the way I talk.
That's right.
And they'll normally, kind of like recognize me to some degree and they'll answer back. But if I walk up into that store and I look at them, I go, what kind of a reaction do you think I'm going to get? They're going to think, okay, guy, who are you? And, you want me to bop you upside? You look like to me, you need some thump therapy,
You know what? That is so true. And even nowadays, I recognize and I see the fact that when you do reach out in kindness, a simple smile,
Yeah.
Jim, it doesn't
Oh,
cost
yeah.
anything. Simple things. It's the simple things in life that open up the big doors.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when you smile at someone, it's universal. There are no
Yeah.
boundaries to that.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so what I've noticed though, Jim, is here recently, when you do act in kindness, sometimes it takes people aback because they're not used to that. They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
used to that,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
in the climate that we're living in right now.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
when you really reach out to people in true love,
Mhm.
with no agenda, no hidden
Mhm.
agenda, no
Mhm.
hidden, and whatever, not looking for anything in return.
Mhm.
Sometimes people don't know how to receive that
Yeah.
because it's just not the norm. It's not the
Yeah. They're not
norm.
used to it. They're not
They're not
used to
used
it.
to it. I
Mhm.
had one time someone say, "What do you want from me?" And I said, I don't want anything from you.
Yeah.
I was just saying hello, and she
Yeah.
was taken aback by that. But
Yeah.
I think that if we practice those simple
Mhm.
things,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean we don't have our moments. We all have our moments.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. And
But I think that's what people need the most.
yeah.
And like what you were saying was about connection,
Mhm.
sending people care, concern, love.
Mhm.
Um, we all need that. We all need
Oh,
that
yeah.
connectivity. We all
Oh,
need that
yeah.
encouragement. We all need that strength from one
Mhm.
another. We're created
Yeah.
for relationship and community, and so it's important. It truly is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And that's why
Ex-
we send love to the audience and to the viewers,
Oh,
because
yeah.
there may be that one person that needed to hear this message today,
Mhm.
Jim.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's why we're doing what we're doing,
Oh,
is
yeah.
that one person that maybe they're on the brink of
Mhm.
feeling hopeless or
Mhm.
down or discouraged or despondent and thinking there's no way that I can make it through what I've been through. Well, let me
Mhm.
tell you something. You can make it. And we're here to
Mhm.
tell you and give you hope that there is hope around the corner, that there is
Mhm.
a turning in your turning point, that
Mhm.
there's a new day in the worst situation possible. Believe
Oh, yeah.
me, we've both overcome adversity in different multiple ways, Jim.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we have the credibility, the experience to let people know that
Mhm.
there is a new day,
Mhm.
there's a brighter day, and that there's hope for tomorrow. And that's
Yeah.
what it's about.
And for you guys out there, I'm talking about you macho men, you
That's
don't
right.
know yet that macho is just nacho with an M instead of an N. And my point being is that when you see a
And
lady,
that was funny.
I don't care if she's 13, 31, or 91, you see a young lady like that, because they're all young at heart, open the door for them. And
Oh,
I
wow.
always do that because that shows respect.
So
I
nice.
remember I was in Tucson and I opened up the door for this lady. I saw her come in, so I stopped, and I opened up the door and I'm waiting for her. And she made the comment, she says, I can open the door for myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
looked
Yeah.
at her
Yeah.
and I says, I didn't say you couldn't.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
she tried to dump her problem on me and I just gave it back to her. And that's what you do with folks. When they try to give you a problem, just give it back to them.
Yeah.
Because that's
Absolutely.
the only thing they want to share, and you don't need that in your life any more than a poor hound dog needs a case of the fleas. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with what you said. And I think the issue is knowing our roles and knowing our femininity,
Yeah.
masculinity, the
Mhm.
power of those, and being
Yeah.
able to respect each other's differences,
Mhm.
and being feminine and masculine,
Mhm.
and respecting one another.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think when a woman is feminine, she is very strong.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
strength in that, and so it doesn't mean there's a weakness. And I think, of course, societal, issues and concerns and talk. Obviously, there's been some of that going on, but I think it's lovely to have a
Mhm.
man open a door,
Oh, it
and
shows
be a
respect. It
gentleman.
really does. And
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, our time is gone. We just want to thank you so much for tuning in today and getting a chance to know Tanya. She's going to be back with us tomorrow. We're going to be talking tomorrow about the St. Jude's Hospital, the wonderful work that
Yes.
they do. And my family donates money to them every month, and I'm
Yes.
very proud of that because
Mhm.
there's a lot of kids out there all around the world who have health issues. And sometimes their mother and dad don't have the proper funds or anything. It's, excuse me, my throat's about gone, but tune
Oh,
in
it's okay.
tomorrow. And we'll
Yes.
be so glad to share that wonderful information with you. Most importantly, love yourself and love others. Most importantly, be good to yourself. And if it's your birthday, remember this. All sweets are health food on your birthday. I voted on that and I was unanimous.
No.
And we'll see you later, ladies and gentlemen. Have a
Bye,
wonderful
guys.
evening. Bye bye.
Bye.